thought Shakky looks even sexier. She look way better in this panel than in this chapter than the last one. And she already looked like a dynamite gal in the last one. Why does Shakky have so much motion?
Wet and gushy, make that pull out get weak.
We need to drug test her because she's overpowered. She should not be this broken. I need to know what her bounty is. Need to know what her bounty is, because there is no way that she humbles Roger and Rox, 2 out of the 3 strongest legendary individuals of that era, and she makes them got them wrapped around her finger. It's insane. This is One Piece chapter 1157. A lot of reveals, still with the rock pirates. Kind of surprised. Honestly, I'm not going to be surprised about it anymore until the Harald flashback's over. Really freaking good chapter. Let's talk about it. The rocks pirates, they start off by stealing money from the Foot Colony. It is considered the temple of International Philanthropy Federation. They're stealing money. I find it funny, and I low-key agree with Big Mom here, because someone's like, hey, stop it. This money is supposed to go to like some poor kids or for children in need. And Big Mom's like, well, if that's the case, then why the heck didn't you send the money over? And I'm like, you got a point. I love this crew. They're strong, and yet because they're trying to see whose meat is bigger than each other, they step on each other's toes and gets in each other's way. That's exactly why this crew ended up failing. With all these strong pirates here, they should have dominated, because you got freaking Shakky out here running, and he sets up a bomb behind him, and they're like, wait, not everybody escaped. And Shakky just looks like, fire in the hole. So you got people like Silver Axe, Kaido, and Whitebeard. They were underneath, and Shakky didn't even give a fluff. While they were trying to escape, they end up being locked in bars, came down, they're like, oh, we're cooked. And then all of a sudden an earthquake hits, or well, we thought it was an earthquake. It's actually Whitebeard's fruit. He's turning the island upside down. We know that his fruit has the power to destroy the world. He's broken. And so I know we're going to see a little bit more with Teach. Of course, we saw a little bit when he ended up fighting Law, but seeing Whitebeard use his fruit in his prime, because we saw a little bit of his prime fighting against people like Roger, fighting against Odin, but we didn't see it like this. And so seeing not only it affect his allies, but affect his enemies too, I love it. And then Kaido, they having a conversation afterwards. They're like, I gotta admit, I'm jealous that you can do that. And so this is Wiper saying, hey, if you're interested in getting a power, that's cool, but choose wisely, because you'll be stuck with it for the rest of your life. Once again, remember earlier how Shakky put a bomb down there. I love how Silver Axe and Shakky, they have their little beef, because he was like, oh, Shakky, you did this? I knew it was you. They start fighting immediately. I just love the interactions, and you know, it's dope that we get to see just infighting on every single mission, because that's why the crew disbanded. We gotta talk about Rox's motion. Earlier I was glazing Shakky, and rightfully so. We'll talk about her a little bit later, but Xebec, his motion is crazy. They said that this man, even in an era that was dominated by Roger was in this era. Nah, it wasn't Roger's era, the Pirate King's era. It was Xebec's era. And I already know part of it having this ridiculously broken crew, but I don't know how the government was able to cover all of this up, because it says in 2 years. This is all that Rox accomplished. And mind you, he already accomplished a lot when it was just him, but with different Marines and everything pulling up, he destroyed, or there was like 16 raids, 76 destroyed ships, ports, 14 of them was turned into ash. There was different articles. I think they said that he ended up like breaking international law. There's different criminal records that was erased. He had motion, and once again, no clue with all these strong individuals in the crew how the fluff the world government was able to erase everything that he did, because the only people that knew about him was Sengoku, Garp, and obviously the people of that generation, because everybody knows the Pirate King, even the people that weren't in that generation, but nobody knows about Xebec. So shout out to the world government for being able to cover everything up. But Yeah, I think we need to have some conversation. We need to have some conversation about Xebec. I already made a video about it, but low key, until we get Roger's perspective, his side of the story, nah, Xebec was the best pirate. I'll stand on that. He was the best pirate until we get to see everything that Roger went through. And obviously, they're going to do the highlights. And when we get his flashback, because this is One Piece, is a story about Luffy. But still, until we get that, I'm Team Xebec right here. Xebec was a better pirate. Remember a few chapters ago when Harald, he got food from different allies, different humans that helped him out to save Elbaph from famine? Well, they scratched his back, and now it's time for him to scratch theirs, because there was an island, it is called Inishi. It is being captured or taken over by the world government because they are supposed to deliver different tributes and stuff like that. The different resources supposed to go to them. And Harald's like, whoa, these are my allies. They help me. What the fluff are you guys doing? Where we got this guy that looks like a Kizaru knockoff is like, well, they're supposed to be giving us resources. And if you involve yourself with us, we know how hard you're working to be a part of the world government. If you involve yourself with us, it'll put a little bit of a step back, so you better back the fluff off. They shoot someone and Harald loses it, and he goes in and attacks, and I respect him for this because he wants to join the world government, yes, but he's also not going to allow different allies or different people that helped him just suffer. But if you guys enjoy different One Piece content, let me know by leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and hitting a notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. I pump out different One Piece content almost each and every day. Xebec is back at Elbaph. He's at Aya's bar because obviously Harald cannot let someone of this magnitude, can't let him into the castle, into the sun realm. So they're talking about Harald once again joining the pirates, joining Xebec, because that is where he's meant to be. What Harald said here, it reminds me a lot of Dragon and a little bit of Aokiji and why they left the Marines, because Harald's like, the world government, there's different good Marines, different good people within the Navy. Sure, there's some corrupt, but that's just how the world is. And to be honest, he's not wrong. To which Xebec, and I love this man, any person that he sees just a little bit of fire in him, that has conquerors, that can stand above others, he's like, oh, he should have been a pirate. Because he says, Garp, oh yeah, he's good. He's a part of the top brass. He hates, what the world government stands for. If anything, he should be a pirate too. And low key, it might not be wrong. We cut to the Navy here, and we get to see Kong, get to see Tsuru, Sengoku, and Garp, because this is their era. They talk about how, what's with Harald and everything with Elbaph, and Harald kind of mentioned this earlier, how different things are changing, where the world government is looking at the giants as assets, how there's different people that have joined the Marines, and Garp and Sengoku are essentially, they're like, nah, let Harald join. Like, we could use their strength. And Tsuru's like, well, maybe they should join too, because if not, we've had rumors that Rox and him are affiliated somehow, so let's get his strength before it's too late. And of course, at this time, I believe Kong, he is just an admiral, so he's not a fleet admiral. He can't make all these decisions. And even still, even if he was a fleet admiral, that decision, it's still above his pay grade. So he agrees with them and thinks that having the giants be a part of the world government, that it would be beneficial to him. But I mean, it's not really much that he can do. 42 years ago, and I specifically say the date because a little bit of it is important. There's Shakky, she quits being the captain of the Kuja pirates. She's left, so Tritoma, she is now the pirate empress, and you got so many people that are losing it. Someone was like, I joined being a pirate, went out to sea just so I can meet her. This reminds me, I don't know if you guys be in people's comments, but let's say you see different actors, actresses, models, like them getting married or them being in a relationship, the people that fill out their needs at Walmart. This is exactly what it is. It's like my crush, baby girl. I have a friend of mine, my best friend, he was in love with Haley Steinfeld, and when he found out that Josh Allen proposed to her, oh, he was going through it. So yeah, this is just funny to me. Gloriosa, she's a part of the crew, so she's obviously reacting to this. It's like, I can't really imagine Shakky falling for a guy, because we know based off the last chapter that Shakky, she didn't give a fluff, was kicking Roger, kicking Gabon. The only person she winked at with a little heart was Rayleigh. And so Big Mom talking about this is like, oh, I wonder she chased after a man. And I think this is hilarious. The clapback that Gloriosa said was like, huh, well, not everyone like you is out here popping out children like popcorn. Cause Big Mom, I don't remember how many kids she has, but that woman, she gets around. Speaking of kids, 42 years ago, Katakuri was 6 years old. You see, now I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if this is a doll to be like just representing him or if this is actually Katakuri, but I think it is. And Katakuri and Oven, they're in the shot as well. Love seeing Katakuri. Anytime we get to see him, I'm happy. Speaking of Shakky, the greatest incident that happens at Hachinosu is all because she arrived at Pirate Island. All the pirates there, starstruck, looking at her googly eyes, great googly moogly. And this may be unpopular. I don't know what happened, but I feel like Shakky looks even sexier. She look way better in this panel than in this chapter than the last one. And she already looked like a dynamite gal in the last one. But Shakky quitting being a pirate, she's at Hachinosu because she wants to live here. And with the Navy that's going to be after her, even after her quitting, she's like, I might as well be here because, well, everybody can protect me. So the Rocks pirates return and they're like, well, what the heck happened to Pirate Island? And apparently there is a new bar that is here, Shakky's ripoff bar, similar to the one that is at Sabaody. I assume she made that one once her and Rayleigh finally settled down, but she's here and it is said that people wait over a month to get there. The glaze, they be glazing Shakky, and rightfully so, because like I said, she looks amazing here. You even see all the top tiers. I'm talking freaking Whitebeard, who rejected Stussy earlier in the chapter. You got Xebec, you got Captain John. Literally everyone in the Rocks Pirates, they're out here googly-eyed and lovey-dovey for Shakky. They're in the bar trying to get with her. It's hilarious. They say that this was the treasure or the irreplaceable crown jewel of Hachinosu. And then they also made a statement talking about, well, eventually treasure is a target for theft. I assume they're highlighting Rayleigh stealing Shakky, going to Sabaody, and, you know, becoming a thing. I assume that's what they're referring to. But then the chapter ends with us in the room of authority with the Gorosei, how they say, hey, we've accepted Harald's request. If he wants to join us, he can, but there's one condition: the warriors of Elbaph must kill Rocks. And well, this is interesting because Harald does not agree with what Rocks is doing, is not, you know, has his pom-poms out and is like, yeah, Rocks, go ahead, slaughter these people. Because if that was the case, then Harald would have joined him. But he also considers Rocks, I don't necessarily want to say a friend, but at least somewhat of an acquaintance, because, well, he wouldn't allow him to be at Elbaph if that's the case. So we definitely think that Rocks and Rocks and Harald, they're not going to clash because they're somewhat friends. And I wonder if Harald saying no, if that is why, you know, because of how much he was adamant about, hey, let's join the world government. If he says no, I believe it was Emu that was like Harald's great blunder. Well, that could be because he decided not to kill Rocks, and then it caused them to lose the might of the giants and essentially killing him. But that's it for chapter 1157. We have a break next week. I'm not gonna hold you. I feel like we've gotten a break. I feel like we've only gotten like 3 chapters in the past 2 months. That's what it feels like. Usually the breaks go by quick. But nah, it feels like we ain't been getting that many chapters. But let me know how you guys feel about this chapter in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can never miss out on a new video. From my Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok is on the screen in the description below. And don't forget to unleash your potential.